Hello everyone and welcome to Reason News with me, Allisha Chetty. In a stunning turn of events, Israel and Hamas have reached a ceasefire agreement. Daniel Chapo has been sworn in as president amid ongoing unrest. President Joe Biden shared his farewell address. Celebrated actor Saif has been hospitalized after being stabbed. And lastly, we give you an update in the world of sport. Israel and Hamas have reached a ceasefire agreement, bringing a tentative end to the 15-month war that has devastated Gaza and brought fear and uncertainty to Israelis. This landmark deal also includes a hostage exchange, offering a glimmer of hope to families who have endured unimaginable suffering. After months of intense negotiations mediated by the United States, Qatar and Egypt, the two sides have finally found common ground. This agreement includes a phased approach, starting with a 42-day ceasefire. During this period, 33 Israeli hostages will be released, along with a number of Palestinian prisoners.
It is confirmed, meaning that Hamas has given that final green light, agreeing to the ceasefire and hostages release deal that had been on the table for a while. And based on all of our reporting, we knew that this really was the final step that all of the parties were waiting for, that it really came down to this group agreeing to the parameters that everybody else had agreed to. Part of the reason we have been so cautious in our reporting all of this time is precisely that, that in the end, it came down to Hamas giving this final green light. And when we have spoken to at least U.S. officials involved in these discussions and with knowledge of the situation, they always pointed to the fact that it was impossible to make any kind of predictions with certainty because at the end of the day, they were dealing with Hamas. But again, here we have it, confirmation from a senior administration official that Hamas has finally given the green light and there is a deal for a ceasefire in Gaza and for the hostages to be released. This is a deal, as you were talking about just now with Alex, that has been elusive for the Biden administration and for the U.S. for so many months. You know, we had that initial ceasefire back more than a year ago, around Thanksgiving, 2 Thanksgivings ago, when a number of hostages came out. That ceasefire ended up being temporary, only lasting a number of days. And really, since then, U.S. officials have been working to get a second part of the ceasefire in place, but it had been so challenging.
This deal marks a significant breakthrough in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. It is the first time in years that both sides have committed to a lasting ceasefire. While challenges remain, this agreement offers a rare opportunity for peace and stability in the region. The road ahead will undoubtedly be difficult, but for now, the guns have fallen silent and hope has returned to a region long plagued by conflict. We can only hope that this ceasefire will pave the way for a more peaceful future for both Israelis and Palestinians. The ceasefire is a fragile beginning, a first step on a long and uncertain road, but there is a glimmer of hope in the Middle East. Now back on the African continent, Daniel Chapo, representing the long-ruling Frelimo party, has officially taken office as Mozambique's 5th president. Let's break down the key points. Chapo was sworn in at a sparsely attended ceremony in Maputo with tight security measures in place. The October 9th election results have been heavily disputed, with opposition leader Venancio Mondlane claiming fraud. Since the election, Mozambique has seen widespread protests, resulting in over 300 deaths, according to civil society groups. While some African leaders attended the inauguration, many international observers have raised concerns about election irregularities.
I, Daniel Francisco Chapo, swear on my honor to respect and enforce the Constitution, to fulfill faithfully the office of President of the Republic of Mozambique, to devote all my energies to the defense, promotion, and consolidation of national unity, human rights, democracy, and the well-being of the Mozambican people, and to do justice to all citizens.
Chapo's victory has extended his Frelimo's party's rule to almost 50 years. But the presidential runner-up and opposition leader Venancio Mondlane says the mandate has been stolen from him. Mondlane, for months, has mobilized protests against the poll result while being in a self-imposed exile. He returned to the capital last week and called for a national strike in the days leading up to the inauguration. He has threatened to curtail the new government with daily demonstrations.
So, how will this end? This is a typical example of how this government is not a government of peace, how this regime does not want peace. And if they don't want peace, it means we will not back down because of this. It means this term, if necessary, will be filled with protest 365 days a year. We'll protest every single day. If it means paralyzing the country for the entire term, we will paralyze it for the entire term.
The unrest has paralyzed major cities and disrupted businesses, raising concerns about Mozambique's economic future. Let's look at the challenges facing President Chapo. Chapo must address the deep political divisions in the country, with opposition parties boycotting the inauguration. He's pledged to downsize the government, address youth unemployment, and prioritize healthcare and education. Ongoing protests and the threat of further unrest pose significant challenges to Chapo's new administration. The EU and other international observers have criticized the election process, putting pressure on Chapo to prove his legitimacy. Chapo inherits the task of managing Mozambique's vast natural gas reserves amidst political turmoil. As Mozambique enters this new chapter, the world watches to see if Chapo can unite a deeply divided nation and address the grievances that have fueled months of unrest. What do you think about Chapo's presidency and the challenges he faces? Let us know in the comments below. Now moving abroad, President Biden delivered his farewell speech from the Oval Office, marking the end of his presidency and nearly 50 years in public service. Let's break down the key points of this. Biden cautioned that an oligarchy is emerging in America, pointing to the concentration of wealth and power among a select few. He criticized the tech industry and social media, where he claims truth is suffocated by falsehoods propagated for power and profit. Biden implored the nation to continue addressing climate change, stating, "We must not allow ourselves to be intimidated into compromising our future." In a surprising move, Biden advocated for a constitutional amendment to clarify that no president is exempt from crimes committed while in office. He suggested increasing taxes on billionaires, implementing stricter campaign donation regulations, and establishing term limits for Supreme Court justices.
I want to warn the country of some things that give me great concern, and that's the dangerous concentration of power in the hands of a very few ultra-wealthy people. And the dangerous consequences if their abuse of power is left unchecked. Today, an oligarchy is taking shape in America of extreme wealth, power, and influence that literally threatens our entire democracy, our basic rights and freedoms, and a fair shot for everyone to get ahead. We see the consequences all across America, and we've seen it before. More than a century ago, but the American people stood up to the robber barons back then and busted the trusts. They didn't punish the wealthy. They just made the wealthy play by the rules everybody else had to. People should be able to make as much as they can, but play by the same rules, pay their fair share of taxes.
Biden's address wasn't just a reflection on his presidency, but a stark warning about America's future. He drew parallels to Dwight Eisenhower's 1961 farewell address, which warned of the military-industrial complex. As Biden prepares to hand over power to Donald Trump, whom he has labeled a threat to the nation, his speech highlighted the deep divisions in American politics and society. Now moving to the east of the world, a shocking story out of Bollywood. Celebrated actor Saif has been hospitalized after being stabbed by a robber during a home invasion. The incident occurred in the early hours of 16th of January at Khan's residence in Mumbai. According to police reports, an intruder broke into the home and confronted Khan, leading to a struggle in which the actor sustained multiple stab wounds.
The incident took place at around 2:30 a.m. early morning when the maid who was working with the Kareena Kapoor and Saif Ali Khan since last 10 years, she spotted one of the unidentified person at the home and she started shouting. After she shouted, the Saif Ali Khan came out from his bedroom, and when he showed that some unknown person is there, entered into his house, he started he told him to go out of this house. But during that time, the thief has already started attacking the Saif Ali Khan. In this case, after this scuffle, now the Saif Ali Khan is admitted in the Lilavati hospital and he is out of danger. Few minutes ago, Mumbai police already released a statement and clearly said that one of the unidentified person entered into the Saif Ali Khan house. Now the big question is about the security lapse. How the person entered into such a security high zone area where Saif Ali Khan is staying in the Bandra area, and it's like so many film stars and celebrities are staying in this area. So now the big question is about what the private security guard who was deployed at Saif Ali Khan's building, what they were doing. So now we came to know that Mumbai police have already registered a case, but the information which we're getting from the Mumbai police is that the thief who has attacked the Saif Ali Khan is still absconding.
Police have launched a manhunt for the suspect who fled the scene after the attack. They are currently reviewing security footage and interviewing witnesses in an effort to identify the perpetrator. This shocking incident has sent shockwaves through the Bollywood community and beyond. Fans and colleagues alike are expressing their concern and sending well wishes to the actor and his family. We will continue to follow this story closely and bring you updates as they become available. Now in the world of sport, world number 2 Alexander Zverev capped his Australian Open title charge on track Wednesday with a straight sets victory over Spain's Pedro Martinez. Former Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp expressed hope on Tuesday that Mohamed Salah will sign a new contract to stay at Anfield beyond the end of the season. Bundesliga clubs across Germany may be forced to cover the costs of police at certain high-risk games after a German court upheld a ruling in the city-state of Bremen. The Premier League will not issue any fresh charges against clubs over breaches of its financial rules after all were deemed compliant for the 2023-24 campaign, though Leicester could be still sanctioned over a charge brought last season. And the International Olympic Committee IOC told AFP that the defective medals from the 2024 Olympic Games in Paris will be replaced with identical models.